Told you I'd get teary. I hope she doesn't get too fed up with me being around the bloody house getting rid of shit. I'm sure we'll get on as we have done to date. Next person is Robert Begg. Robert, you're a great old mate of mine from Darwin days. You helped me re-enter Victoria, if you like a space shuttle. I didn't burn up, fortunately. Nearly did. He was my manager back in Vic Paid days, and he and I and a few other buggers, Rom's here I think, I don't know about the others, we used to call ourselves the Lunch-a-Lots for some obvious reasons. We had lunch down at the Dallas Deli. There was George Grossek, Ron Waters, who's here, Dave McKenzie, Ian Nisbet and Peter McLaughlin. We had some great times down there in the Dallas Deli. I'm going to have to mention that one day, Robert. We used to, I'm not the only one that uses the F-bomb. This bugger down here uses it too. And he got caught out one day, big time. But I don't know who was swearing, but... I'll give you one guess. Yeah, I think we all were, but Robert's got a good voice, as you just heard. And some little old lady there took great offence to this, suddenly stood up and strode over to the table and gave him the biggest dressing down I've ever seen, and then stormed out of the restaurant. And we were all pissing ourselves off. And for once, I was really glad I mumble a lot. Steve Platt, who's here, he's been a great friend and colleague of mine for many years. And he created the Land for Wildlife scheme and then joined me and started creating the fire ecology and many other programs such as the Hawkeye monitoring work. Without him as a friend and a colleague, I'm sure we wouldn't have got as far as we have, so thanks Steve. Rod Gowans, many of you probably don't know Rod, but he was around back in the early or mid-90s. He was my first director, actually the first person I worked under who was acting in Rod's job was actually Ewan Waller, would you believe? He spent a whole bloody day describing the structure of the department. That doesn't happen anymore. So I was very grateful to Ewan, but Rob had a sound understanding of the interface between policy, science and program implementation. And I guess he instilled a lot of that in me to help understand how the system worked. Ian Miles, many of you might have remembered Ian. He was in Forest for a long while and he was the ED of Biodiversity in the early 2000s. He came on a memorable trip with me up to Cooma once to look at bloody quolls actually, and he looked at the Project Deliverance, the fox control in East Gippsland, and he saw the whole value of actually controlling ferals in the environment and how it could actually get the monkey off their back about forestry being the only evil in the world, because the foxes and cats were actually doing a lot of the damage. It's still going today, those ARC projects. And Andy Murray, I don't think he's here, but many of you might have heard of him. He's still plugging away, chucking out fox boats up in the Southern Arc in East Gippsland. Liam Fogarty, what can I say about Liam? He had a go at me, but I'm only going to say nice things about him. He's the biggest big picture thinker I've ever met. He's the man behind the risk-based approach, and he saw the need to get fire ecology embedded into the mainstream of fire management. You only got to look at the code to see the incredible achievement he's had there. And he's got this incredible bloody ability. I call him Mr. Hoover, because he goes around at the end of each financial year and sucks up any loose funds. He gets fucking millions of dollars. And then he gives it to the right people to get some really good outcomes in a whole range of stuff. Without you, Liam, I don't think I could have got my rocks off. There's a few more F's in here. Phoenix. That's not an F, but it sort of is. Residual risk, ecosystem resilience and fire ecology. Thanks for all that, Liam, and thanks for being a good mate. It's been a hell of a good time. Paul Smith, Lee Mises and Jenny Rigby. I've really enjoyed working with them the last few years, and they understand people's needs and have ensured that my last few years here have been one of the most enjoyable in the department in my entire career. So thanks folks, it's really been good. Andy Ackland, Andrew Blackett, the others in the strategic, well, it's not strategic anymore, is it? Bushfire Risk Assessment Group, and the then Policy and Planning branch, too numerous to mention. They've made these last few years really good fun with their companionship and good humour. Shannon Trelaw. Shannon, you're a ripper, mate. Been working with Shannon for years. She's like a terrier. She gets stuck into things and won't let them go. And I think doing this monitoring and evaluation work, I reckon I've always said it's one of the hardest gigs in any natural resource management. People always ignore MER. They just chuck it out, think, oh, just do this shit. Put in MER, something on the outside at the bottom. They always forget it, but Shannon's made it mainstream and I think she's doing a fantastic job. And more recently, the other Gordon, Imogen, where are you? She's been an amazing young lady. She's helped me get some really good stuff going in the last few months or a year now, I think it is really. And well, I think without her I would have been just frigging around not doing anything useful, because you need someone with a lot of energy. And I think we've been a pretty good couple together and done some really interesting stuff, and I've really enjoyed working with you, Imogen. Thanks a lot. And I think with her and Shannon together, fire ecology is going to go places. I'm nearly at the end. I want to say a big thanks to all my research colleagues, many of whom I've known for all my career. And they've almost become like a family to me. I mean, Dick was from the Northern Territory. I think I met you probably about the time you went up there at some conference or whatever, and we've shared a lot of F-bomb sort of jokes and good times together. Out at Melbourne Uni, there's Alan York. I've known him since way back in invertebrate research days. Kevin Tolhurst, who sent me a very nice text this morning, can't be here, but Kevin and I met in the mid-70s. I've got a huge respect for Kevin, I think we all do. Julian DeStefano, he's an amazing little bugger, that bloke. He thinks some incredible stuff up, and he'll just come to me and he'll have an idea, and it's good. We think about it, and within a few months it's actually adopted as policy. It's pretty fucking impressive, right? At Melbourne, so that's at Melbourne Uni. At ARI there's a list of people there that I just, it's huge and long. Richard Loyne, wherever you are. Good on you, mate. We've known each other since 1974 or something. Richard and another bloke called Malcolm McFarlane were doing the Bula studies up there when I was running around in the bush doing my PhD, and we used to go down the pub regularly, and got quite friendly. And Richard's still there, still doing the stuff, and he's a real fine ecologist who's doing some great work still. So I'm really appreciative of your friendship and knowledge, Richard. Tim O'Brien, who's a great man. I've worked a bit with him recently, and we've had some great laughs and lunches, and he's doing a fantastic job. I don't know if David Shields is here, is he? He's a plant ecologist and a very robust discussion person, and a great ecologist, and I've enjoyed working with him. Alan Robley at the lead, but he's the man who I've been working with on the Fox stuff, and he's really good. Mike Johnson, most of you may not know Mike, but and Frank's up the back. Frank Bigliotti's mate of Mike Johnson. They were Frank was up in Darwin when I worked there, but and his mate Mike Johnson is still working on ferals over, and he's over in Western Australia, but he actually works from ARI, I think. Graham Newell, I've known him for bloody years. With he did his PhD in the Otways, I think. Claire Moxon, there she is. She's been a great colleague the last few years with all the vegetation work, and appreciate your input and your great humour, Claire. I love having a few laughs with you. And last but not least of ARI, Josephine. Where are you? She's somewhere there. Josephine, there she is. Josephine and I have had a great working relationship the last few years. I met her years and years ago. She's a Gippsland girl, so well, that's bloody good. And but she's fantastic. She grabs onto these issues and goes with them, and she's doing some fantastic work. And what's more, she's as crazy as I am, because she's doing research and she likes to sit amongst us in policy. Really weird, but I think it's, keep it up, Josephine. I think it's good to see people mixing and sharing ideas. Mike Clark, who sent a lovely email before, I've known him for many years, Andrew Bennett, and Steve Leonard at Deakin Latrobe. I'll never forget when I worked with Rod Gowans, and Mike Clark used to give us a fair bit of grief those days about burning and whatever. And I remember Rod Gowans told me to go out there and make peace, because to that time we'd been going out there and belt them up with a sledgehammer sort of thing a bit. That was the sort of way it looked. And he said, go out and make peace. And I remember a memorable meeting with Mike, I don't know if he's here, probably isn't, where we just made a pact that we'd work together instead of fighting. And I think it's been fantastic, because this group's the most innovative and collaborative bunch of researchers I've ever met. They provide the deep thinking to progress some of this evidence-based policy making. So keep up the good work, chaps. There's still lots to be done there. I want to particularly thank Elizabeth Ashman. I don't think she's here today, but she's done a fantastic job organising this research work and shaping it into some really good stuff, and she's run some astonishing research conferences in the last couple of years, and I think the research stuff is in good hands with her and others. The practitioners out there, the regional people often get forgotten when you're in head office too much. I encourage all people in head office to get out more and more. People in the regions are the ones who actually ground all this funny stuff we do. They ground it in reality, in the real world. People like the BRL managers, I think Peter West's here, he's an outstanding man, that bloke. I remember going to a thing at Wilson's Prom last year, and in his group, he's the East Central manager, and his team were the most united, passionate for their work, and they were so linked to what Peter's values are. It was just really quite moving. So good work, mate. Evan Lewis, I think he's still in Canada, but he was on the original Future Fire team, and I still remember those days locked in those rooms thinking, what the fuck is this stuff? What are we going to do with this? But it worked out. Stefan Schultz, I don't think he can be here, but he's as mad as a cut snake, that bloke, but he's really bloody good fun to work with, if you can work out what he's on about. And he's really got his team going. There's a whole stack of others. The Fire and Biodiversity Planners, Dan Jamison, I think's in the room, Adam Whitchurch, Jill Reed, John Stoner, John Mark Porno, and all those risk analysts out there that we work with. I want to mention a couple of PBOs, as we call them, the Planned Burning Biodiversity Bods. Mick, you're a bloody legend, mate. I never forget that meeting. You stood up and said, fuck it, we can do this. Because remember all that EPBC stuff? I've got to live up to this reputation. But you and Rob Poor too, they stand up when a job needs to be done and they go out and bloody do it. And I really thank you for your attitude. You've been a great man to work with all the hard work you put in. Last but not least, I want to thank all of you people I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with over the past few years, and laughing as well. It's been a lot of good fun. Thanks for your friendship and good humour and all the fantastic work you've done. I'll miss you all, but please keep in touch, or please drop by. I'll send an email out next week with our contact details. We haven't left the planet, and I'm not leaving you, so please keep in touch. I'd like to continue all our friendships. And finally, I want to thank everyone who organised this fantastic and amazing farewell, especially thanks to Claire, who's down there. She must have thought, it's all good. I kept coming back with more names and names and names over the last few days.
You made too many friends.
And Imogen and Andrew Mellor, and I'm sure there's a whole stack of others I don't know about who pulled this off for me. So thanks very much.
So that brings formalities